guys, today I'm reviewing the Power Pressure Cooker XL. This is the 6-quart model. The unit is 13 inches tall, 13 inches wide, and 11.5 inches deep. The cord is about 35 inches long, and using an extension cord is not recommended. This is the lid with a handle. The pressure seal and vent valve are on the lid. For safety, there won't be pressure buildup if the lid is not closed correctly. Also, the lid can only be opened when all pressure is released. This is the open position. The lock position looks like it has a picture of a target on it. Turn to open the lid. Under the lid, there is a rubber gasket. You can pull this part out for cleaning. Just pull on this little knob here. And the gasket can be pulled right off. After you've cleaned it, dry everything and put it right back. Make sure it's on properly. And put this right back into the middle of the lid. Just push it down. This is the Nonstick Inner Pot. It has measurements on the outside and on the inside. There's a max line, so don't fill above that. This holds 6 quarts. If you are cooking rice or beans, don't fill more than halfway since they'll expand during cooking. The pot just sits right in the base. The stainless steel base has a control panel with 7 modes of cooking. All 7 modes have a default time. You can press the cook time selector button and choose medium or well for longer cooking times. So if you're cooking a stew, the default setting is 10 minutes. You can change to medium, which is 30 minutes, or high, which is 60 minutes. When you're making rice, use the selector to choose white, brown, or wild rice. The time adjustment is what you use to set a specific time for cooking with any mode. After the unit has finished a cycle, it will automatically go into keep warm mode. So you have the chicken and meat setting, fish, vegetable, and steam setting, beans, lentils, rice, risotto, slow cook, soup and stews, and canning and preserving. You also have the delay timer if you want to set the unit to cook later. The manual has a cooking chart for meat and vegetables and the amount of liquids to use. You can also cook frozen foods in this unit without defrosting. Just add 10 minutes extra for meat. There's also a complete pressure canning guide. Included with the unit is a measuring cup with markings. This cup holds 160 grams of rice. There's also 1/4, half, and 3/4 cup markings. A plastic ladle, a steamer tray, a rack, the instruction manual, a recipe book with recipes for beef, chicken, pork, seafood, soups and stews, rice and sides, and dessert. You can even use your own ramekins to make custard. There's also a home canning guide with recipes for vegetables, jams and jellies, and salsa. This is the condensation collector. The collector goes on the back of the cooker. Empty this after each use. The cord plugs into the bottom of the unit. When you first get the unit, wash the pot, lid, and gasket, pull it out of the lid with warm soapy water and dry. Put the pot in the base. Fill the pot 2/3 full with water. Put the lid on. You'll hear that click when it closes. There is close and open marked on the handle. Rotate the pressure valve to the lock position. Attach the cord to the back of the unit and plug into a wall outlet. When the machine is plugged in, you'll see 4 zeros on the digital display. We'll press the canning mode, and it's already set for 10 minutes. The unit works by reaching full pressure first, then it'll start to cook the food inside the pot. Full pressure can take up to 17 minutes. We'll test that out soon. After the pressure is built, the time will count down. When the lights stop rotating, that means the pressure has been built up. And then the timer will count down. This process is something you have to do only once when you first get the unit. It's been about 35 minutes and the timer has started counting down. This shows 9 minutes. The unit count down to 0, you heard the beeping. That means the cycle has ended. And it's automatically switched to keep warm mode. Using tongs, rotate the pressure valve to the open position. This is going to allow the pressure to release quickly. That noise means all the pressure's been released. The steel parts are very hot. Only open the lid using the handle. It's safest to use oven mitts when opening the lid as the steam can hit your hand and it'll hurt. Now we're going to let the unit cool to room temperature, then discard the water. We'll rinse the pot out after that, dry it, and we can start cooking. I'm going to try making a lamb curry. Pour a little bit of oil into the pot. Press the chicken meat button. I'll put in my whole spices. Stir this for a minute or until you start smelling the spices. I can hear the cumin seed sizzling, so the pot is already hot. I'll put some chopped onions in. And I'll cook the onions until they're soft. This is an easy lamb curry and I'm not going to spend the time browning the onions. Just want them to soften. It's been just a few minutes and the onions are soft. Now I'll add some ground spices, coriander, turmeric, a little bit of chili powder, some garam masala, salt. Saute just for a few seconds. Add some chopped tomatoes. Cook that for just a minute. The tomatoes are a little soft now. We can add the meat. I'm adding my lamb cubes. This is 2.5 pounds of boneless lamb cut into chunks. I marinated this in some ginger, garlic, vinegar, chili, salt, and pepper. Mix this really well. Now I'll add some water. This is 2 cups of water, just enough to cover the meat. Now you want to hit the cancel button. Put the lid on and close it. Turn the pressure valve to close. Press the soup stew button. And I'm going to adjust the time to 30 minutes. We'll time how long it takes for the pressure to build. It took 12 minutes for the unit to reach full pressure, and the time is counting down. It's been 30 minutes, the cycle has ended, and the unit switched to keep warm mode. I'm going to press cancel. Using tongs, turn the valve to the open position. And that means all the pressure has been released. Now we can go ahead and open the lid. You can see the meat is super soft. I'm gonna taste it. It almost falls apart. It is so tender. The amount of time it took the pressure to build was about 12 minutes and the cook time was 30 minutes. So in under 45 minutes, you have a delicious, well-cooked lamb curry. You can see the 2 cups of liquid was enough to make a good amount of gravy for the curry. This is such a simple curry and is great over rice or with any type of bread. If you want the gravy thicker for anything you're cooking, you can always cook off the excess liquid in the unit by leaving it open. For this lamb curry, I used 2 cups of water for the 2.5 pounds of lamb, and there was a lot of liquid. I cooked it down a little bit, and this is what it looks like. If you want a lot of gravy, then use the 2 cups of water. If you want it thicker, I would use less water. 1.5 cups or even 1 cup should be enough. Next, I'll try making rice. I'm going to use 2 cups of rice using the measuring cup that's included. The cups is 160 grams measured to the top, but when I measured the cup of rice, it was about 140 grams or 5 ounces. So I'm using a total of 280 grams or 10 ounces of white rice. I've rinsed and drained my rice. I'll pour in 2 cups, 16 ounces or 500 milliliters of water. And a teaspoon of oil. Give this a stir. Put the cover on. Lock it. Turn the vent to close. Press the rice button. White rice is 6 minutes. I'm using the exact white rice recipe that's on the Power Pressure Cooker website. After the unit reaches full pressure, the rice should cook in 6 minutes. It took about 8 minutes for the unit to reach full pressure, and now it's counting down. The 6 minutes are up and the unit has switched to keep warm mode. I'm gonna hit cancel and let the pressure release naturally. I'm not gonna open the valve like I did last time. It took about 8 minutes for the pressure to be released naturally. You want to fluff up the rice a bit. It looks cooked. Nothing is sticking to the bottom. It's cooked. I'll give it a taste. It's cooked perfectly. It's not dry. It's the perfect amount of water, and the rice is moist and yummy. After cooking, unplug and let the unit cool to room temperature. The base can be wiped down with a damp cloth and dried. The other parts can be washed in warm soapy water. Clean the valve, make sure there's nothing stuck in it. Use a pin if you have to. The gasket should be pulled out of the lid and cleaned. Basically all the parts should be very clean so the unit can work properly without any blockage. If you want to give this pressure cooker a try, I've put a link in the description below. You can use the unit to saute onions and brown meat before you make a stew. The lamb was moist and absorbed all the flavors in the liquid. The rice was cooked perfectly at about the same time or faster than some rice cookers. There was no issue with the unit coming up to pressure and releasing it. I really hope you found this review useful. Share this video and subscribe for reviews of products you use every day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.